short film from United Kingdoms. Tom Francome and Hayley Smith, Heal the Land.
That's me. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Both names on here. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. That's great. Thank you.
We are here with Tom Francome. Nice to meet you.
Thanks so much.
You made a fantastic documentary. It's called Heal the Land.
Yeah.
Should we heal the world?
Yeah, indeed. Yeah.
And
land, water.
And why should we heal the land?
I mean, I'll focus a little bit on Britain or maybe England here. That's what the film focuses on, and we're facing a bit of a biodiversity crisis in this country. You know, we've lost huge insect population numbers, and you know, we need to address that imbalance in order just to.
Heal bought its first site in December 2022. The land is beautiful, undulating Somerset countryside. It's 460 acres. It's a grassland site. We have trees, hedges, and 3 beautiful rivers.
We can clearly see that something's coming in and out of the water, and I think it's a real good spot for a camera trap. Oh man, I really hope we get something here.
Rewilding is not abandoning land. The goal is to restore fully functioning ecosystems, and what we're really interested in is seeing how you can help nature to re-establish itself.
We're so used to thinking of the habitat that comes with these species as messy and unnecessary or wasteland. We really need to turn that around, because that will then help species like the orange-tipped butterfly.
Everybody who's ever had a dream of rewilding somewhere, they can sort of do that through us by sponsoring this patch of land.
Projects like this are really important because very simply they kickstart life.
If it's what we think it is, then that could be really exciting.
Yes!
Monitoring is absolutely critical because
we have to be able to demonstrate that this is making a difference. We have to have hard evidence. That's how we will gradually win the hearts and minds of policymakers and funders.
There's an underlying trend where everything is decreasing in numbers and species. That's probably to do with intensive use of farming land and climate change.
We have quite a problem here. One of our northern fields, it's completely bare earth. The vegetation's all died.
And what is the reason of this imbalance? Because I've heard the UK is one of the countries, the 3% of the countries who has a biodiversity crisis.
Yes, so there's an index called the Biodiversity Intactness Index, which ranks all countries based on how well they've preserved their biodiversity. So yeah, we fall 7th from the bottom of that list of 240 countries and territories. So yeah, bottom 3%. We're doing pretty poor at preserving our biodiversity. And what's leading to it? I mean, it's you know, a big melting pot of problems. That, you know, you've got climate change. Last year, the year we filmed, was particularly poor because we had an early heat wave and then a really wet summer. So like when we were focusing on moths, for example, a lot of moths didn't survive the adverse weather conditions. But then you also have things like farming huge areas of our landscape and using pesticides and things like this on a really large scale.
And what is the biggest reason?
I don't know. I'm probably not the scientist that should answer that, but I would say it's yeah, probably climate change.
Yeah, and you were filming it with multiple people. How many people worked on the project?
So yeah, I shot the majority of things. So it was me and Hayley were the main team. We would go out. We shot about 26 days over spring and summer, and then we also we had some volunteers come and join us. So there's a few shots in there that, you know, were donated to us by other volunteers of the charity. So they invite people to come and you know, come bring a camera, get out there, film stuff, and then they collect that on the drive. And so I had that, a bit of archive to work from the charities collected.
And is now the biodiversity becoming better again?
Yeah, so I mean, in the film you can see that we're doing our baseline survey. So this is, you know, beginning of the project. We're just assessing what's there. You know, we're seeing an improvement that we think. You know, we have measured an increase in bat species on the site, which is a really good indicator for self moths and insects and all sorts of things. But it won't be until a few years later that we can scientifically say that there is an increase. Once we do those surveys again and we see an increase, and yeah.
I saw multiple moments of joy when there was this increase. Can you see how did it feel to be a witness of this increase and the happiness you saw? This people were very, very happy.
Yeah.
So tell me.
Yeah, I mean this is why I love rewilding, right? It's like there's a lot of doom and gloom in the world, especially when it comes to environmental and climate issues. But rewilding is this process of you're taking a place that's not great for nature and making it good for nature, and you get wins really quickly. You see species coming back, and you find, you know, wildlife all of a sudden that wasn't there, and it's exciting. And to be there and seeing those in real time, it's a joy. Yeah, it's great.
And rewilding, is it a difficult process? Can everybody do it? Because it's not only the UK, in the whole of Europe we have the same problem.
Yeah, it's certainly, and you know, everybody can make a little bit of difference. Like no mow May is a really great thing to do. If you have a lawn, leave it for spring. That really helps. You know, any land that you have, you can leave. You know, if you do want to mow your grass, then fine, but you could leave a little patch. Or, you know, I even hear of people who are getting big plant pots and just planting native wildflowers in a plant pot, just because that's great for pollinating insects. So there are lots of different things. And a great tip somebody told me recently is don't put like tick repellent drops on your dog, because if that dog then jumps into a body of water, it can actually be quite devastating for the pond. So tiny little tips, there's loads. Yeah.
And what do you want to reach with healing the world and healing the nation and healing the land? What do you want to reach with your documentary? What is your mission for the world?
I think it is to, you know, connect people with nature more. I think it's better that people have a better connection to their surroundings, and I think by improving the environment and improving our wild spaces and you know, I think that would be not only beneficial for our food systems and for just the health of, you know, biodiversity for our country, but it's great for people and their mental well-being too.
And were you born like this?
I grew up in northwest London with not that much access to nature. I would say it was something that I fell in love with the rewilding process, and that's what inspired me to make films about it. So it was fairly later on in my journey as a human, yeah.
And we should also rewild the cities?
Yeah, there are loads of projects in cities, and people can do all sorts of. There's a fantastic project in Ealing, which have beavers, and so lots of little pockets of land that can make differences, and parks can make a difference, and quite a lot of, you know, a city like London, for example, quite a lot of the landscape is gardens, and people can make a big difference by what they do with their garden.
And how can we involve children?
Yeah, it's really important. You can go out to schools, you can be taking kids to rewilding sites. So a charity like Heal, it's really special because they quite often do have things like school groups coming, and also, you know, people from marginalised communities, or you know, they might get a school group from a city centre school and bring them to a rewilding site for them to experience nature, which they don't have access to. There are lots of kids who don't have access to nature, so a rewilding site is a place where you can bring people in and they can experience nature.
So we should rewild the world.
Yeah, I think so.
Thank you. Thank you.